Okay, in this video we're going to talk about a new concept that was just introduced to the tool, and this is called custom filters. We're going to go over what a custom filter is, creating them, editing them, assigning them, deleting them, and sharing them, but it makes a heck of a lot more to actually show you than to just talk about them. So let's go into the tool and do just that. So I'm in the tool, I've logged into a case, which I'll show you why that's important in a second, and I'm going to go into the admin console, and I am going to go to the filters section. We already have a filter here, but we're going to add a new one. So let's dock to the right here so I can open up my filters. And I'm going to apply a filter. Let's go to a file categories, and we can say, okay, there are 829 graphics. Let's focus on those for this demo. So we're going to click on those, and that filtered down to our 829. So we're happy with that. So now we're going to come here and we're going to create a filter out of that. We have our document set already properly filtered, and we want to capture that filter, and we're going to call it new filter. And we can assign a button to it. But right now there are only a few choices, but we'll be adding a ton of choices here. We're going to choose a bar chart, which makes no sense at all, but let's pretend it did. And we're going to go ahead and save, and it refreshes. It gives us an object, an ID, so that's how we know it was successful. And now let's reduce, and you can see our bar filter, which is our new filter, same as what we just called it here, has shown up here. And so we basically created a filter, which, in this case we did a very simple one, but you might have done a complex one. And then you've captured it in a button. Now, the super cool thing about this is you can now assign that button as a privilege. A new capability also just recently introduced is this idea of assigning, permissioning these filters. So now you can actually come here to quick filters, which is what we call them, and you can assign which quick filters the user is going to get. And if you scroll down here to the bottom, you'll see our new filter and our picture are now options that we can actually permission out. And so why this is so cool is because you can go and you can say, hey, I'm going to create a filter. I want Tim to only ever really see Word docs, PDFs, user-created documents. So I'm going to go in here with my skilled investigator, and I'm going to create a filter, maybe a complex one that's like 5 or 6 of these, and I'm going to put them all together, and then I'm going to save that. And I'm just going to save it as a simple button. And I'm only going to give him that one button. So instead of all these options, he's just going to have the one button up here. And that's going to radically simplify his user experience. Now you can accomplish a similar thing via custom data views, and I will show you that in a later video, but this is also a really effective way to do it. So that's how you create them. You can delete them just by clicking here, and they will delete and go away. You can actually share these things. Let's say you thought this was really cool. You could go and literally just copy this thing out and post it on a message board or whatever, or save it to email and send it to a friend, and they can post it, save it into another filter, and just save that, and now they've got your filter. So these are things that I hope to eventually introduce a message board on, or a web page where we can all just be posting filters we find effective, letting other people pull them down and utilize them. So I think those are the critical things about these filters. Let me think, did I miss anything? No, let's just go ahead and test it. Let's see the proof in the pudding here, if you will. So we've removed our filter, and remember we had something like 600 or 800, I've forgotten, that were reactive to that filter. Let's go ahead and just click on our button and see what happens. That's the 829 that we talked about, and these are all pictures. So, worked. Hopefully that made sense and is a good sort of quick introduction to these custom filters, but they're really powerful. And again, if we get up this web page and provide a mechanism whereby you can all share them with each other, I think we could have a exponentially, frankly, uh, uh, feature that, makes it just easier to use the tool exponentially because we can all contribute and all benefit from that. So that's that. Hopefully that was helpful.